So, this film starts with a group of 7 friends. All of them come to an old mansion to celebrate their friend's birthday which they had rented. The drink gets over at the party, but it was a party, so they wanted a drink. They think, where did we get the drink from? Because the mansion is quite far from the population, but they wanted it. That's why they think, it's such a big mansion, there must be drinks here. That's why they start looking for themselves. Where they come near the basement, whose door was locked. The door was locked, so they should have left. They should have ignored the basement, but they were in the mood for adventure. Those friends broke the lock and went downstairs. There was a pile of old things downstairs, which made it look like this house belonged to a collector, meaning, someone who likes to collect things. There they find an old box, in which there are tarot cards. Tarot cards are actually like cards, but when you choose a card, you are told about yourself by reading it, what kind of aim you have and how you want to be in the future and what can happen to you. The card also has the names of demons, devils and witches. According to the card, whatever reading you get from these, it will be the same with you. These cards were very strange. Looking at the cards, it seemed that someone had made them by hand. Haley, who could read the tarot cards, everyone tells her to tell her and herself, meaning, the state of their fate, what will happen to them in the future, and about their nature. Haley first refuses, because it is forbidden to use other people's cards, but it was her friend's birthday, so Haley listens to her. Although she felt something was wrong inside, but she didn't want to ignore her friends, so everyone goes upstairs and starts reading the tarot cards. She put the 12 cards in a circle, and the last 13th card in the middle, because it will be the final card, the last one, so it will be the most special. The first number was Haley's, the same friend who had a birthday. Her card was the High Priestess. Haley told her that you are curious about everything. What is happening? Why is it happening? You try to know that subject, and your curiosity can only put you in trouble. You are climbing the ladder of success, but climb slowly, otherwise you can slip. You can fall, which can cause a deep shock, because this warning is for the one who has come on your card, meaning, High Priestess. After this, it was Haley's turn. Her card was the Hangman. Haley told her that you will have to face a lot of problems related to technology, but don't worry, everything will be fine. Just don't get scared by looking at the problem. Don't run away. After this, the next number comes of the second friend, Paige. Her card was the Magician. Haley tells her that someone will pull you in 2 parts. He will lock you up there, but she ignores it. Now a friend, Paxton, goes to the bathroom. Someone is seen in that balcony, but when the light was on, there was no one there. The next number was Haley's maid friend, but he refuses to take Haley's reading, because they had a fight. Instead, Paxton comes and sits. His card is the Fool. Haley tells him not to take any decision in this game. You will feel trapped. That you are trapped, but you have to trust your loved ones. If one door closes, the other will open, and you will come from somewhere for your friends. Now the next number was Paige's friend. Her card was the Hermit. Now this boy was going to break his principles. That's why he was told that the Hermit's light can take you to the wrong path, and the paths of love that are opening in front of you. Think about them before you go, and you are going to get money from somewhere. Everyone's reading was done, and now only Haley's friend was left. That's why he also comes forward. His card is the Devil. He is told that you are ruining your relationships. You face the demon. Either you will have to sacrifice someone, or you will have to lose someone. If you don't want this to happen, then you have to face the demon. After everyone's reading was done, Haley also did her reading. Her final card was Death. For her, it was that love will be the reason for her death, and if she doesn't die, a new beginning will take place. Haley didn't take this seriously, but inside, she was also feeling weird. All the bad habits come back. On the way, these people stopped at a gas station, where Paige's friend's card cost $7,000, which makes him very happy. But in a way, her tarot reading was completed. That you are going to get money from somewhere. At night, everyone goes to their own house, while Haley's friend, whose birthday was, goes to the hostel. When she comes out of the shower, she sees that a ladder is coming down from the attic. Then she quietly lifts it up and goes to her room, because Haley said not to get into curiosity. But after a while, someone knocks on her door loudly. When she opens the door, she sees that the ladder has come down again. She started going near the ladder, but she couldn't notice that someone was standing behind her. But she was feeling it little by little, and as soon as she turned on the light, there was no one there. She thinks that these must be the girls of the hostel, who will joke with me. That's why she also starts climbing the ladder quickly. But there was no girl of the hostel in the attic upstairs, but it was the High Priestess. That is, the one who had come to her tarot card. She shouted loudly. Then seeing her, she falls down and becomes conscious, and then the High Priestess lifts the ladder and hits her. She did this again and again, because of which Haley's friend is killed. As Haley had told in her tarot reading, that curiosity will give you strength. Climb the ladder carefully, otherwise you will slip. You will get a deep shock. Exactly the same happened and she lost her life. But everyone thinks that her death is an accident. Her friends get together after hearing the news of her death. Everyone was very sad and worried, but no one knew that all this happened because of the cards. At night, everyone else goes to the egg. Haley stays with Paige, because she was very sad because of her friend's death. Haley tells her that when I was young, then I learned the reading of tarot cards. At that time my mother was sick. Whenever I read for my mother, every time her death card showed me. That's why she says that we can't change our fate. She explains to her that if you were with our friend, if you could not do anything, then Paige's friend goes to leave Haley's friend at her house. But when he was coming back, at that time the demon of his tarot card, now Paige's friend wanted to go back by train, but Hermit's light forced him to go to the wrong side. As soon as his reading came, and now suddenly a train comes and crushes him, which leads to his death. In something like this, his reading was searched to walk on the path of love with a clear mind. He had come to leave his friend, whom he liked, and secondly, Hermit's light showed him the wrong way, which was the reason for his death. That is, according to the reading, his death was happening the next day. When the news of his death reaches those friends, then they get very worried that all this is happening according to the reading. Otherwise, how did two friends die in 2 days? This cannot be a coincidence. The rest of them also agree to this. They start thinking, what should we do now? But now it is obvious that they needed help. That's why they gave internet support. They found out about a woman who was the master of all these things, because she was an oracle. Oracle had written about the tarot cards, how so many people died because of her. She got the oracle's number, but she doesn't pick up the phone. Then everyone decided to go straight to her house, which was far from the population. Anyway, as soon as they reach her house, the door rattles. Then in the beginning, the oracle did not open the door, but then when she told, because of the tarot cards, her friends have died and we are also going to die. Then the oracle comes out. She took them inside and tells that the tarot cards you have read, they were cursed because of them. Many people have died before. In Mexico, then in Woodstock, in 3rd place in London. This happened. One person survived in the London case, and that is none other than me, because I had read all of them, but not mine. But until I understood that all this happened because of tarot cards, by then those cards had gone from me. Since then I have been looking for these cards so that I can destroy them, and not to take the lives of more people. Now the question arises, where did this cursed card come from? Obviously, this oracle was also searching about this, and then she tells that these cards have become cursed because of a king. In the 18th century, there was a queen of a king, with whom the king was very happy. The king told his astrologer, that is, the situation of fate. He made him read it. Then he found out that the child and the queen, both will die, when the queen will give birth to a child. Hearing this, the king got angry, and he said that change the reading. This cannot happen. The astrologer tried to change the readings many times, but every time the result of death came, which was death. But this means that death can also happen and a new beginning too. But the king thought it was death. But because of this, the king got angry, and the astrologer and his daughter expelled from the kingdom. But when the time comes, the reading becomes true. That is, the queen dies when she gave birth to a child, and their child is also killed. Seeing this, the king was very sad, and he got so angry that he went crazy. He accused the astrologer of witchcraft. That is, she does magic. He gave him a lot of punishments. And then his daughter, he killed her with his soldiers, which made the astrologer very sad, and he also gets very angry. That's why the astrologer in return made those dangerous cards, and using them, read the king and his soldiers, then do a dangerous ritual demands her life, so that his soul is always tied to those cards, and in some way, these cards were cursed because his soul is tied to those cards. Then one by one, the king and his soldiers started dying, just like their readings, and in some way, the astrologer's revenge was fulfilled. But because his soul is tied to these cards, that's why whenever someone uses these cards he also dies. And now because the cards are cursed, these are all cursed, so that means they will also die. Now there is only one way to survive, and that is to destroy these cards forever. After hearing all this, Harry and his friend go to the mansion where those cards were, but on the way, their car stops at a bridge. At this time Harry believes that something very bad is going to happen. Now the readings were going to be true. Harry's friend, that is, the hangman, who was told that he will have a problem related to technology. That is, don't run away. Seeing the bridge problem, don't hang around, but she does what she was forbidden to do. She started running away. Then according to the readings, the hangman came and he really died and leaves. That is, he dies a very bad death. It happened in front of everyone, and now there is no doubt that all this is happening because of the cards. But those people are very scared. Seeing this, Paxton says that I don't want to go back to the place where it all started. I want to save my life. That's why he goes alone to the house, although he was told, don't take any steps in a hurry. But this was his idea, and that's why, according to his readings, the fool demon follows him. Seeing this, he was very scared, and in a hurry he gets on the lift, but he was stuck here, as it came in his readings that you will feel trapped, because that's when the fool comes in front of him. That is, his death. Annie and the rest of the friends reached the mansion and threw the tarot cards into the fire. But she was very shocked to see this, that none of the cards caught fire. And now when she sees this, she doesn't understand anything, so she called Oracle. Oracle told her to destroy these cards. You have to do a ritual with which the soul of the astrologer will be separated from the cards. Oracle starts the ritual and calls the soul of the astrologer, but she didn't think how powerful the soul can be. The soul came and read Oracle's readings V, and her final card came, 6 of Swords. That is, she inserted 6 swords into Oracle and she dies. Seeing this, Annie and her friends started later from there, but the page separates from them and her readings also start to get true. That is, she was told that someone will pull you into 2 parts. The magician of her tarot card closes her in a box. Then he inserts the card from wreck into 2 parts and something like this. She dies after this. Death and Devil were also after them. That is, the readings of the tarot cards of those 2 friends. One was Annie's and the other was her friend's. Then Annie gets an idea, that if I read the astrologer then after her death, everything will be fine. Because such cards V and her soul will be separated. If the soul is over then the cards will be over. If the cards are over, then the cards will also break. That too forever. Annie had decided that she will have to end this game, otherwise everything could have been ruined. Until now, Annie was telling herself that we cannot change fate, but now that she was saying it with full confidence, so now fate was definitely going to change. But in her words, Devil pulls her friend and takes him, and death means death. Annie falls behind. Love will be the reason for your death. This was her reading. Annie took the support of love and tried to change her fate. But love, I mean her friend, she didn't even get scared, and that's why now only death was left. Death came and caught Annie, but then love comes back. I mean her friend. Her friend's reading was you will have to face the demon, otherwise you will lose this closeness. Now he was facing the demon, while Annie's reading for that astrologer's soul, and now in her final card, death comes out just like Annie. Now if death took the soul first, then Annie was saved. Annie's friend didn't know whether he will survive or not, because Devil was pulling him here. Annie was telling the astrologer's soul to forget the past and move ahead, and don't kill innocent people. But meanwhile death decided that both of them, I mean Annie and the astrologer's soul, won't go together. But Annie's friend came again and saved her. And death saw the soul, and the soul ends in front of both of them. As soon as the soul ends, the cards end, and this curse ends forever. Now just like death means death and a new beginning, so death became the Sue and a new beginning became Annie. Now when both of them were going back, then a car comes from the front, and in that was Paxton, and his reading was that for his friends, he will come back from somewhere. Now we know how he survived in the lift. So then his friend, who used to live in the room with him, he came and opened the door and saved him, as it was in his reading that someone will save him. So the fool demon left. Now according to his reading, he survived, but in the end he also destroyed those cursed cards forever. Means now no one's death can be tolerated, and with that, this film also ends here.